Nah, Hidan has to be like the second freakiest member of the Akatsuki.
Now the air is filled with
Orochimaru obviously being the first. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another reaction video. I haven't done one in a minute, but today we're going to be checking out when Asuma got knocked off the map by Hidan and Kage in front of Shikamaru. What you're going to do is like the video, subscribe, go check out the original video, link in the description down below from Kage the Don. And without, let's get into it.
Okay, so boom! The scene kicks off where Hidan's sitting on some steps waiting for Kage to come back with their cash. The two of them are fresh off of packing up this Vin Diesel looking monk who had a bounty on his head. I know that bounty was fat.
It's like the little intro.
Sure would pay a lot of money to get a glimpse of their future in that crystal ball, cue ball, shiny head of his.
Hey, you ain't got that hard on, bro.
I wanna hit him with that Michael Jordan. As Hidan continues to wait patiently on the stairs, he hears the footsteps of someone behind him. So naturally, he assumes that the footsteps are Kake's. But once he fully rotates to see who it is, we see the man of the hour, Asuma
Asuma Sensei.
And he's not here to play no games.
Let's get it. The son of heroes in, but he's absolutely fodder.
Quickly throws 3 shurikens, but Hidan manages to block them with his sight just in time. He then tries to throw his sight at Asuma, but before it could reach him, my boy Shikamaru pulls up and hits him.
The man who always comes in clutch no matter what.
Hidan, now confused as to why he can't move, tries to get a glimpse of what's keeping him in place. But Asuma's squad was trying to get that KO in record time. So Izumo and Kotetsu charge in and pierce Hidan with his long
I'm not gonna lie,
blades
too
from both
fodder.
directions. Now after seeing Hidan get turned into a meat kebab, Asuma and Shikamaru are already ready to celebrate. This man Shikamaru over here grinning, probably happy as hell his lazy ass gets to clock out early. And Asuma's over here talking about something. That's one of them down. Nigga, let the body drop first? Like, damn. I can't stand when a kill gets claimed too early. Niggas will shoot their opponent once talking about something. We got him. Oh, nah, if you don't go ahead and empty that clip. After piercing Hidan with 2 blades, all 4 members of Asuma's squad stand there waiting for him to drop. But after letting Kotetsu sniff his musty armpits for a few more seconds, this man Hidan
even got their names, bro. How do I know who these two are?
Says,
ow, that hurts. Who are you people? Quit sticking it in like that.
First of all, second of all, how is this man still alive? But he got 2 thick-ass swords poking out his chest and back, and he's over here speaking perfectly without even a little stutter. Yeah, go ahead and pack up, y'all. This one's not even worth it. Now they're just standing there, face to face, chopping it up, until Hidan notices the symbol around Asuma's waist. Hidan then puts 2 and 2 together and realizes that Asuma is also a part of the same Guardian Ninja collective.
Oh yeah, that's right. Asuma was about that.
Like the money-hungry demon he is, he plans on collecting the bounty that's on Asuma's head too. Asuma then proceeds to go on a yapathon, basically sharing the whole plan, talking about some.
We are Shinobi of the Elite Village. Our orders are to capture or eliminate you, Akatsuki. My original idea was to take down one of you first, then capture.
Shut up, nigga.
My brother, why are you spilling the beans to
I
this
haven't
man?
seen this
What
fight
did you
ever, like,
gain
ever
from
since I seen it
this?
the first
You
time,
are
so, yeah.
literally giving his partner
So
more
this is
time
gonna be,
to
like,
come and
interest
join
in
the
it.
fight. And funny enough, guess what happens next?
Kakuzu pulled up.
Flying out of nowhere with his fist cocked back, ready to punch the ponytail out of Shikamaru's head. Shikamaru manages to evade the attack.
Nah, Kakuzu was cold here.
Also released Hidan from his grasp. Kakuzu continues to chase Shikamaru, but Asuma quickly jumps in front of Kakuzu while the other 2 retreat from Hidan. Now they're all back to back, ready to plot their next move. Now you think with Kakuzu in the mix now, Hidan would work with them to wrap up this fight quickly and go cash in the check, but that was not the case. Instead, Hidan's talking about some.
Kakazu, just stay out of this, alright? I want these 3 for my ritual. You can have them after.
I beg your pardon? The f you mean you can have them after? Shikamaru, you gonna let him talk to you like this? He just said he's trying to pass y'all around like an industry bop. You can have them after. Nigga, I'm not rude.
The industry bop is crazy, bro.
Ultimately backs down, allowing Hidan to take the 1v4. But that is when we see this nigga Hidan drawing this devilish looking symbol with his.
What was his god again name?
Now I admit I was too distracted by the second half of Hidan's monologue, but if we take it back a little bit, we can hear this demon say,
I want these 3 for my ritual.
Your what? What ritual is homeboy talking about? This plus that blood symbol you drew on the ground was already enough to qualify you for a prayer and a complimentary exorcism. But if you don't want to take my word for it, take Shikamaru's. After watching him draw that symbol with the blood on the ground,
Shikamaru's hairline
bowed his head and
oh man, it's like
I'm not lying.
I'm sorry, bro. Shikamaru's hairline is way too distracting for me. I just can't stop looking at it every time Shikamaru's on screen. I just get distracted on it.
If you don't believe me, go check it out for yourself. This is him speaking right now. After praying and strategizing for a bit longer, Hidan finally cuts them off and pulls the two swords out of his body. Then, to my surprise, he says,
The gods shall punish those who don't understand
I forgot what he
the
called
pain
him.
of others.
Bro, which god are you talking about? See, you gotta be
Motherfucker
careful
talking
with
about
people
Satan.
like this. I had a friend pray that his enemy's house blows up into pieces. Come to find out, his op lives with his innocent granny and her 3 puppies. I don't think God's gonna fulfill that prayer. After staring at each other for a bit longer, Asuma makes the first move and charges at Hidan. So Hidan rushes towards him too. They both collide, but Asuma manages to cut Hidan's blade in half with his. Before Hidan could even realize his blade's been cut, Shikamaru guns at him with his shadow stitches. So Hidan quickly jumps out the way. While in the air, he throws his broken blade
It's crazy
at
that you have
Asuma,
to
which
dodge
he blocks
shadows.
with ease. Then he sends his scythe at his head, but Asuma weaved that move with 0 difficulty. Hidan then digs the scythe into the ground and uses it to drag him away from Shikamaru's shadow stitches. So Asuma proceeds to charge at him again, but this time
Bro,
Hidan
it's on
tries
the
to
tip of
catch
my
him off
tongue.
guard
I'm
by
trying to
jumping in the
remember
air to hit him
exactly
from
what
above, but
Hidan's
Asuma was able
god
to
was.
adjust and block
I forgot.
the blow just in time. Shikamaru continues to try and catch him with his
He's gonna
shadow
say
stitches,
it,
but
but
Hidan's just
I just trying to remember before he
Eventually,
does.
Hidan gets tired of playing this cat and mouse game, so he throws his scythe at Shikamaru. But Asuma steps in front and proceeds to hit this holy wall real quick. And now the ghost of Vin Diesel is right beside him.
ghost
All
of
of a
Vin
sudden,
Diesel.
this angelic music starts to play, and this golden 20-handed goddess appears behind him. Now, the first time I seen this, I genuinely thought Hidan was cooked. Look at
I
this
forgot he
heavenly
completely
looking
did
jutsu.
this.
You cannot tell me
Kinda
he's
looks
not
like
about to
Hashirama's
push the
jutsu.
soul out of his
That
chest
wood
with all
style
20
thing?
arms. But instead, all this man does is stiff arm the scythe and tickle
That's
this
it?
man's titty. Bro, don't piss me off. This clickbait ass jutsu. You couldn't even make Hidan touch the ground. Then to make things worse, he has the audacity to hit us with his little smirk like he did something. Asuma, quit playing and lock the in. Asuma
That's why he died, bro.
At him, so Hidan jumps
Asuma
out the
was
way. Now,
mad
as sorry
weak,
as
bro.
these shuriken
I
throws
mean,
might have seemed,
weak
that
to an
was
extent.
all
He's still
according to
strong,
plan,
but
because as soon as he jumped,
he was just
Shikamaru
fodder,
quickly
bro.
sent his shadow stitches at him, but they missed him by just a hair. Hidan then tries to slice Asuma in half, but Asuma manages to hit the most elegant backflip over the blades. Hidan continues to run from
I
the
don't know
stitches,
why,
but
but
finally Asuma, Izumo,
the generation
and
after
Kotetsu
Heroes
got
just
this
got
man cornered.
completely
So at the
weak,
same
bro.
time, they all
Kinda
throw a bunch of
Amaru,
shurikens at him.
nothing.
Now during the last 5 minutes
Asuma,
of this fight,
nothing.
Hidan must have forgot he was
Asuma's
a
daughter,
monk, because instead
nothing.
of dodging the shurikens like he's been doing, he lets all the shurikens pierce his body, then continues to charge at Shikamaru. Asuma's not letting him get a hand on his shogi partner, so he decides
His
to
shogi
chase down
partner.
Hidan. So he turns around and throws a kunai at Asuma, which he blocks. But then Hidan hits that same backflip Gervonta Davis does after every knockout, just up there levitating, stunning on his opponent. Then he throws his scythe at Asuma. He blocks the scythe, but not before getting pierced by the tip of one of his blades. Now, normally a little scratch like this wouldn't be a cause for concern, but judging by the look on Asuma's face, I can tell that something is very wrong.
Yeah, it was
begins
like
to
close to his
retract his
temple.
scythe. Then he starts sticking that tongue out, trying to show us what that mouth did. Asuma, thinking he has Hidan right
Nah,
where he
Hidan
wants
has to
him,
be like the
decides to
second
boot up his
freakiest
burning
member
ass
of the
jutsu. And
Akatsuki.
now the air is filled with ash from his
Orochimaru obviously
nasty
being
ass
the first.
cigarette-filled tar black lungs.
Go back. What'd you say?
Thinking he has Hidan right where he wants him, decides to boot up his burning ass jutsu. And now the air is filled with ash from his nasty ass cigarette-filled tar black lungs. Lungs probably out here looking the same color as Hidan's soul. As the air continues to fill with ash,
Nah, that's a
Hidan
crazy
lifts
fire
the tip
style,
of
though.
the blade, walks into the blood circle he drew at the beginning of the fight, and then we see his skin color change. Asuma's ready to wrap this up, so he bites down on the ash and causes a huge
Bro, I
explosion,
remember the
sending
first
Hidan
time I
back
seen
to
this,
the
bro.
depths
This
of
was
hell that he
crazy,
came from.
man.
Hey man, won't he do it?
Bro, this was
Hallelujah. Or at
crazy
least
the first
that's
time I
what
seen
wanted to
this.
happen. Because after all the smoke from the explosion fades, we see this demon crouched down in his blood circle. Talking about some
Hurts, doesn't it?
and that is when we see Asuma covered in burns as if he was the one in the explosion. Everyone staring at the two of them confused as to what they just witnessed. But before they could even make a hypothesis, Hidan screams out, Let's experience this ultimate pain together, shall we? Then he whips out this giant rod. Asuma assumes that he whipped out the rod to use on him, so he takes out a weapon of his own and sprints towards Hidan. But unfortunately, he misread the situation because that rod wasn't for him. It was for over Hidan. Hidan then proceeds to stab his own leg without flinching, and at the same moment of contact, Asuma's legs give out, then he proceeds to kiss the ground. Now Hidan's really happy.
Bro, this was sad,
over there yelling at Asuma's body, talking about some hurts, huh? While laughing hysterically. Bro, listen to this man's laugh. If you ever hear someone laugh like this, please proceed with caution, cause I promise you, they got a couple screws loose. Now Izumo, Kotetsu, and Shikamaru are watching Asuma's leg bleed out while trying to figure out how he's doing this. Eventually, all four of them are able to figure out that Asuma and Hidan's body are somehow linked. Hidan points the rod right at his chest, then attempts to drive it through his heart. By the look on Asuma's face, you could tell his life was flashing before his eyes. He was completely helpless. But right before Hidan could pierce his chest, Shikamaru manages to get off his Shadow Strangle Jutsu in time, stopping Hidan from completing the devastating blow. Ooh, y'all had me sweating like I was there. Look at these niggas.
You can see how silent I am. Like, this is exactly how silent I was the first time I seen this.
Shikamaru's now over there using every atom in his body to keep his hold on Hidan. And now they're just in this field. Nobody seems to be able to
so like I was locked in on this fight the whole time.
Provides them with a little motivation by offering Hidan his help. When I seen this man step up to bat, I began pleading on their behalf like my life was on the line. If they're already getting cooked in a 1v4,
for real, cause we never knew what this guy can do.
They'd be finished. And I'm not even hating, they know it too. Look at their reaction when he attempted to join the fight. They do not want smoke. Thankfully, Hidan's overconfident self tells him to back his ugly ass up and let him handle it. Shikamaru then really starts to get in his bag and brainstorm a bit more, and after closely analyzing all of Hidan's previous moves, he finally knows how to stop him. He quickly puts his plan into action and begins to shuffle Hidan's feet out of the circle. After a bit of a struggle, he finally manages to get him out. So Asuma wastes no time testing if he's still linked to Hidan by slicing his ear open with a shuriken. And once Asuma felt that he wasn't affected by the slice, Shikamaru uses his
I don't know why one of them doesn't go over there and just wipe away that blood mark.
Hobble his broken self over to Hidan.
I mean, that could have been the quickest thing they could do.
The Terry Fox jog all the way to him. But as much as I applaud Asuma for his determination, I couldn't help but get upset at the fact that these bums are just standing there watching him slowly walk to him. Nigga, if you don't run over there and end him, what have y'all done all fight except throw some shurikens? Uniforms in pristine condition.
This is why I called them fodder, bro. This is why I called them fodder.
Names by actually using your names to begin with. But let's be real, there's not one person on earth who would respond to the question, who's your favorite Naruto character? With an answer of, yeah, mine is Izumo, he's rad. And that guy Kotetsu, they're just both pretty cool.
Real.
The way they just, nigga, no.
Like, I don't even know their names,
40
really.
years to get to
you just said it, I still remember.
One more time and slices his head clean off. And that is when everyone begins to let their guard down. As to why they feel so comfortable with Kakuzu eyeing them down from the sidelines is beyond me, but a win is a win, I guess. I would have been slightly more amped for this small victory if it weren't for Tweedledee over here talking about some
We did it! We did it! We did it!
We. You know what? You're not even worth the roast. The joy from the small win eventually fades and they collectively refocus their attention on their next target. But the little momentum and confidence they had left was quickly destroyed when Kakuzu said,
"If you wanted my help, Hidan, you should have asked sooner."
Then we see this man Hidan, fully conscious, yelling loud as hell.
You know, it's because I had a feeling that would happen
severed from his body. Now the two of them are just casually having a conversation while the others watch. Hidan's basically begging Kakuzu to reconnect his head to his body, and eventually Kakuzu gives in. He practically teleports over to Hidan, then grips the top of his head like he's about to roll the nastiest strike I've ever seen. But as shocked as they all are, they still think they have the upper hand. Shikamaru determines that as long as Hidan's body is still separated from his head, they should be good. Now they're all plotting on a way to escape, considering the fact that Asuma looks like he just got out of a car crash and Shikamaru can barely stand. Look at him, coughing up a storm. That secondhand smoke from all them shogi games with Asuma is finally kicking in. All four of them continue to strategize until
Shikamaru got some weak chakra, bro.
Mid-brainstorm, he
like, the only thing he's good for is
with the same lethal leg kick they hit Jaden Smith within Karate Kid. Then he decks the cigarette fumes out of his skull with that deal or no deal ass briefcase. Asuma is clearly
unable with a money case full of. I messed that up. Don't even worry about that.
Does not play with his food. 35 mil is on the line, so he's not messing around. He jumps 10 feet in the air, then proceeds to drop his hand on Asuma's spine, and now Asuma's just laid out.
Asuma got folded this fight, man.
A leaking leg.
Stabbed in the leg. Got burnt. Kicked in the already stabbed the leg.
Man Asuma get abused. Kakuzu then walks
Like, what are y'all doing, man?
Stitches his head on, then returns his attention to Shikamaru and the no-names. I promise you, if
The
Shikamaru
no-names.
was in any condition to fight, they would have let that nigga handle it. But both of the all-stars are out for the count, so they have no choice but to let the bench players in. Kotetsu kicks off their showdown by summoning this ugly-ass weapon. Then they both begin to charge at Kakuzu. Izumo quickly
About
activates his
time.
water
First trying to
slip
do
trap
the
jutsu,
secret hidden
so
finger
Kakuzu
jutsu.
jumps out the way to evade it. Kotetsu tries to catch him off guard and throws his Pokemon-looking weapon at him, so Kakuzu tries to catch it, but it weaves all of his attempts and crashes into the ground. The two simpletons really thought they got him with that elementary combo, but when the dust cleared, I was not surprised at all to see Kakuzu standing there staring at them unharmed. Kakuzu then raises his hand to deliver the final blow, but all of a sudden, Kotetsu's knockoff Pokemon comes flying out the ground behind him. He jumps to catch it, ready
What
to
even is
smash
that
it for
blade
real
right
this time.
there?
So Kakuzu
Just
tries
the-
to jump
what is
out the
that?
way, but to his surprise, his feet are trapped by Uzumo's syrup. Okay, no names, I was not familiar with your game. This how you cook right here.
Yeah,
I'm still not
only
letting y'all slide.
if
Niggas
they
wanna
did that
wait until the
before.
last minute to show out while Asuma's
For
already
real.
in the
Only if
waiting
they
room
did
to
that
meet
before
Jesus.
Asuma would still be
Get outta
alive.
here. Kotetsu goes in for the final blow, but Kakuzu somehow unstitches his hands and launches them at his neck. Izumo tries to fight off the second hand, slicing and dicing his way through Kakuzu's symbiote, but inevitably, the hand catches him, and now they're both getting their oxygen squeezed out of them. Now that there's no one left to intervene, he done walks over to Asuma, ready to blow his candle out. He raises his rod and proceeds to utter his corny villain one-liner, but right before he could throw the rod, Asuma wakes up like the Undertaker and tries to slice Hidan's face off. Within a split second, Hidan manages to throw the rod, but the rod only goes through his shoulder, which wasn't enough to finish him. So he whips out his scythe and swings it right to the back of Asuma's head. Shikamaru yells at Asuma to watch out for the scythe, but then we hear the sound of a blade piercing skin while blood splashes in the air. Now my original guess was that Asuma was finished. That scythe clearly took his head clean off like he did to Hidan. A head for a head.
I don't remember what happened. I got it. I don't remember what
I
happened.
was wrong. The camera pans down to Asuma, and he still got his head on tight. It turns out he ducked right on time, and now the scythe is inches deep into Hidan's stomach.
Yeah, but
Asuma,
wasn't
for
he
a brief
standing on the
moment,
thing,
is very
right?
proud of himself for dodging that blow. Until mid-sentence, he realizes what just
Yeah,
happened.
because he was
Hidan
still
then
standing on
starts
the thing. I
laughing
remember
hysterically,
this now.
and that is when we see that this nigga is
This
standing
was-
in the demon circle. I wanted
Bro.
to be and Asuma so bad, but this was honestly just a well thought out attack.
For
Nigga had
real,
him
man.
from every angle. It was either this or the scythe carving out his head like a pumpkin. But he really had him in checkmate. Asuma, now in severe pain, grabs his stomach and starts coughing up blood. And that's when Shikamaru gathers the little strength he has left, gets up, and starts running
Bro,
towards
Shikamaru,
Asuma. That
only
boy was
if
running
you
with
weren't
the vision
fodder,
one
bro.
track
You're
type
only
form,
good for your
hard
shadow
swinging, hard
paralysis
as hell.
jutsu
But
and
the
your
run
brain.
ends prematurely when this man falls by tripping over a rock. Kishimoto, I know you didn't just let a rock take this nigga down while his sensei is about to get packed up. This tiny ass rock, that should have caused a stumble at best, but a whole face plant? Shikamaru, you were carrying the whole first half of this fight, but you're low-key sorry for this. Now Hidan's just playing with Asuma, making him feel pain for his own pleasure. He's even jiggling the blade inside his stomach, just straight foul. He finally gets done toying with Asuma, so he raises his rod, and with no one left to intervene, he successfully drives the rod through his heart. And this is when we see our beloved Asuma collapse to the ground. Now, as much as I wish this wasn't the actual final blow, all of the signs were there. The classic triple instant replay, the birds flying away, and finally, a loved one getting a sense that something is wrong. I don't know what it is, but when someone special leaves this earth, niggas just somehow manage to know right when it happens. Her coochie must have started tingling or something, cause she immediately looks up and calls out Asuma's name. But what made it even worse was the fact that his death was used to pleasure this sadistic, kinky psychopath. Watching your sensei's death be used as some form of a drug has to be a different type of trauma. But shit, with a sorry squad like this and 35 mil on his head, this was your only fate. Even Doctor Strange couldn't find another reality where this wasn't the outcome, brother. You were cooked from the jump. And the worst part is Asuma couldn't even get off his dying wish, which was, and I quote,
should have
to
brought
like and
Kakashi with him.
subscribe to your boy. Come on now, respect the man's dying wish. Reinforcements eventually come, but it was too little too late. They tried to rush him to the Leaf Hospital, but Kakuzu refused to leave without collecting his bounty. But he was not leaving without that 35 mil. He was still throwing hands. But
Damn, yeah, this guy was cold right
everyone
here.
was spared from his wrath because the two of them were being summoned by their boss, forcing them to retreat.
Now, the guy who
from
was
the
actually fighting him,
dust
he's
into
actually
this
cold, though. The other two,
devastating
Johnny,
battle.
now they're
Overall,
mad
a
weak.
capital S tier fight. The hand-to-hand combat, the strategizing, the banter. Ooh. Asuma and Shikamaru really gave it their all. The no-names tried to redeem themselves with that last-ditch effort to contribute. And as much as I despise Hidan and Kakuzu, I must admit
should at least
that
took one of them, bro. I wouldn't even feel bad. Okay, guys, make sure to like and subscribe to his channel. And before we leave it off there, he has 2 more parts to this entire thing. This one and this one. So I'm going to check them out on different dates. But for right now, subscribe to both of our channels. Twitch will be in the link to the description down below. And peace out. Bye-bye.